Good morning. It is Wednesday, September 8th at 9 a.m. Thank you for joining us for our weekly webinar series here at Real Estate Economics. This morning's topic is the new home market in the Antelope Valley. What I wanted to do is show you an example of how we use our tools on our website that are specific to the new home community. Some of you may not be aware of this, but each quarter we audit every single actively selling new home community throughout the state and are able to gather an enormous amount of information and slice it and dice it in many ways. And I'll give some examples of how I do that as it pertains to Antelope Valley this morning. Before I do that, let me just share with you the various webinars that we plan to hold this month. Next week, on the 15th, we'll have a webinar that's somewhat similar in format to the one I'm doing this morning, and the title will be Santa Clarita Valley New Home Market. I'll give some similar examples of the Santa Clarita Valley that I'm giving this morning for Antelope Valley. And then following that on the 22nd is another YouTube webinar where I'll deal specifically with Kern County and its new home market. It's seen a lot of changes up there. Obviously it has an inventory problem. We want to share with you some of the data that we see up there and some of the challenges that we see. On the 29th, September 29th, we're going to do something that we have never done before. And that is that we're actually going to charge a small fee for our webinar for those of you who are not subscribing specifically to our Los Angeles County data. We found that these webinars, we love to do them, but they are a bit expensive for us, and we do want to see if we can augment our research funds a bit by every once in a while doing a paid webinar. And we by no means don't want to discourage anyone from attending. We want as many people as we can get, especially if you're willing to pay us a little bit for our research efforts. We think that we have the best information out there, and if you're willing to support that research effort, I think you'll be rewarded for that. That's on September 29th. It will not be a YouTube webinar. We'll actually send instructions as to how to tap into that webinar. As we get closer to that, we'll send our typical email invitation with some instructions how to do that. And then, as always, our no-cost webinars are available at youtube.com/realestateeconomics. Okay, so let me actually go to our website, and here's the home page of realestateeconomics.com, and I'm actually going to take you to products, generate online reports, and then new housing development reports, where we'll tap into our new home field audit that was just conducted last month. And we'll go to Los Angeles County, Antelope Valley submarket, and I'll choose all of the areas within the Antelope Valley submarket, as well as all of the communities. And we should end up with 14 actively selling new home communities. I'm going to actually press the on hold button to see if there's any others out there that may be on hold temporarily. Sure enough, there's one more. So just in this overall selection sheet, you can see that there are communities from Lancaster to Palmdale to Quartz Hill. By the way, if you're not familiar with this, you can click on any of our headings here, and it will actually arrange that in order by that heading. Let's actually go to the next screen, and it will show you composition by density of these and by product type for these 15 actively selling communities. As you can see, most of them, no surprise, are between 6,000 and 9,000 square foot lots, with a fairly large share also above 9,000 square foot lots. We'll continue to the map to actually see where these are. So here we are in Antelope Valley, and you can see that most of them in the Quartz Hill area, down into Palmdale, East Lancaster as well. Here's the overall breakout of those, and you can actually show the names of those developments. It gets a little crowded when you do that, though. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see the names. And I'm actually going to run the reports. Before I do that, most of you are familiar with our website to the point where you know that you can go right into a aerial photo and see via satellite where specific communities are located on the map. Let's go to Generate Reports, and I'm going to run a series of reports, and you can actually name these where you can pull up individual profiles. I'm not going to do that this time around. I'll pull up survey to survey next in another run. I'll name these and actually begin the compilation of these reports. Now this will take a couple minutes to run, so while this is running, I'm actually going to go to another product. Generate online reports. This time I'll go to housing transactions reports and go to Los Angeles again. This is the one that on a monthly basis we download every single transaction that occurs in this particular market area. And in this case I'm going to pull those transactions from the city of Lancaster, as well as Palmdale, and I think there may be one other, Quartz Hill. We'll pull that out as well. You can see that it shows the zip codes in these various areas. I'll choose all of those zip codes and pull information for the most recent month. We'll have that running as well. And while that's running, we'll go back to our vault and see if we have any of our tables ready. Okay, so all of these tables are now ready, and I'll pull them up one by one. Let me actually first go to our residential development summary. Here it is. So here's our 15 actively selling communities, and most of you are familiar with this format as well, though I'll show you a couple of things regarding it. You can see this one-line summary of everything that's going on in this particular community. This stems from the very detailed profile that you can also pull up for these communities. It gives all kinds of information regarding your interior appointments, exterior elevations, obviously historical pricing and sales information, closing information, and so on. Some of you may not be aware that if you simply highlight this Excel spreadsheet and expand the columns, there's a lot more data in here than we're showing, including the longitude, latitude, survey dates, opening dates, zip code, address, phone number, all kinds of information that gives you a bit more detail regarding each one of these. For formatting purposes, we kind of condense that into those most pertinent statistics, but you should know that it's there and available for your use. At the very bottom of this, you can obviously see the overall summary. And this is kind of interesting. The overall sales rate is 3.2 sales per month. During the past quarter, though, it's only been 2.4 sales per month, so it has lost some ground during the third quarter of this year. You can see the overall averages and statistics for each one of the areas that we track in the Antelope Valley area. Here's the average list price of all of the floor plans that are offered in a given community, the amount of concessions that the builders will admit to, price per square foot, premiums, average sizes, bedroom bathroom counts, and so on. Let's also just comment on the overall averages. $261,000 in terms of the overall average base price. Concessions average $7,843. The average price per square foot is $113 per square foot. The average lot size is a little over 9,000 square feet. Association dues average $24 per month. Many of the communities have a tax assessment and so on. Okay, that ends part one of this particular webinar. It's going into two segments, and so if you'll click on the next segment, I'll continue with the new home analysis. Thanks.